So you've chosen Prime. You heard what your recruiter had to say. You've been watching all these videos of people who've gone through the training in Prime, and all of a sudden you're like, what is this? They're complaining, they're moaning, they're griping, they're whining, and then at the end they go, oh, Prime is a great company. You should come. Use my driver code. Well, today we're going to discuss that. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to be as objective as I can about PSD, and then in a later episode when I finish TNT, about TNT. All right, hold on. Good morning and welcome. Well, it's morning here. Welcome to Cajun Couple Trucking. What I'm doing today is, as the intro said, there are a lot, and I'm not going to mention anybody's name, any YouTuber's name or anything, but there are a lot of people who have come to Prime or currently going through the hiring process, should I say, training and all, and then they are griping. Let me center myself in the camera a little bit more, griping about the process and complaining, and then at the end of their video they're like, Prime's a great company, come to Prime. Let me get this out of the way. Sorry, I have my countdown from my laundry going to. Anyway, I'm in Pittston at one of our terminals in the bunk room, and I decided to go ahead and make a video. I'm going to make a couple more and put them to post later, but I'm going to post this one as soon as I'm done. So here's the things that I hear them griping about. This is not orientation. The food is horrible, and the food, the way you pay for food is crazy. What is it with this green card? It's good for nothing. You have to get your work history exactly right, or they send you home. Man, we had to take another drug test and another DOT physical when we were here. The computer-based training is crazy, and then something about the loan, the pad or the road, depending on what your trainer does, the test, the purple card, and the housing, and of course the 50,000 miles for TNT. Now, I'm sorry, I got my phone propped. I'm trying to, keep looking at the camera so y'all can see me. But it kind of looks like I'm looking down. All right, so the first thing, it's not orientation, is what a lot of people are griping about. All right, what is orientation? Orientation is letting you know the company's guidelines and aligning you with their vision. And if you don't like their vision at the orientation, you can leave. Now, you can be orientated to a college, to a CDL school, which is what they're doing here, to a company, lots of different things. Okay, now you actually get your orientation for the company in a non-conventional way. The orientation for the company is when you get on your TNT trainer's truck and he's teaching you all of the policies and procedures of the company. When you get your purple card after you pass your CDL test and you actually get hired. Yes, you're not hired until you pass the CDL test. Once you pass your CDL test, get your purple card, they hand you a packet that gives you all the policies of the company. And I mean, let's face it, 99% of people are not going to read that. Me, I sat down and read it. All right, so I'm going to try to give an objective view of everything that I've noticed at Prime. Of course, I went to a Springfield terminal, not the Pittston terminal, so it's going to apply for most of them. I haven't even been to Salt Lake terminal yet, so I'm going to give you my experience at Springfield, but being here at Pittston so much because my TNT trainer's out of Pittston. This is his home terminal. We come here a lot, so I've talked with a lot of the trainees and the trainers and stuff, and so I've gotten a feel for what's going on. And it's pretty much the same, so I'm imagining that Salt Lake City's the same. Okay, then not orientation. You're orientating to the school when you first come in, all right? And we're going to talk about, let's talk about the process. All right, you filled out the online application. They sent you to a little app that you filled out your application, your work history and everything, all right? You've talked to your recruiter. Your recruiter's gone over your work history, over your background. They've done a DAC, they've done a driving, pulled your driving record, and they've done a preliminary background check, okay? Now they say, come on up, okay? Now you have 3 different ways depending on where you're at and your recruiter on how to get here, okay? Now the 3 ways are fly, bus, Greyhound bus, or rental car. Now here's the problems right now. Flight is a pretty good option. It's nice, but they only offer it to certain places, throughout the country. Greyhound is the #1 option they use. Now Greyhound, what they're going to do is they're going to put you on a Greyhound. Yes, the Greyhounds are nasty. They aren't kept up as nice as what most people would like. Especially if you go through the Dallas terminal, it's going to be crowded, people sleeping, homeless people there. I mean, you're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to deal with this no matter how you travel. And then rental car. Rental car, they depends on where you're at in the rental company, because right now the rental companies are saying they have a shortage of cars, so they don't want to rent any car that isn't coming back to the exact same lot. So rental cars may be out of your way. Now there's a 4th way to come, and that is you drive. Now here's the problem with driving. Yes, they'll reimburse you up to what a Greyhound ticket would have cost, all right? But when you finish your PSD, go to T&T, your car's sitting here for months. When you come and you upgrade, you're going to get a truck. They're going to put you on load. Your car's still sitting here. You're going to have to figure out a way to get your vehicle, your personal vehicle, home, unless you're going to use it here in long-term parking for whenever you come into town. That's up to you. Me, I have family that needs the vehicles, so I leave my vehicle at home. I can't. All right. Now the not orientation. Let's go through what they consider your orientation. Your first day, you're going to get up here. They're going to give you a paper badge with your name on it, and it's going to say that you're a trainee, okay, and that you're in orientation. And they're going to go over things with you. They're going to teach you how to log into computer-based training. They're going to come give you a meal card and tell you how to use it. Pay attention. 92%, I would say, here at Pittston, I've been talking to the lady in the cafeteria, about 92% of people, even though they mention it 4 and 5 times during your first day, when they get that green card, they come in and they get their food and they walk up and they're like, okay, here's my green card, where do I swipe it? They only accept the purple cards, okay? There's a green card and a purple card here. Let me show you. I'm gonna cover this right here. This is your purple card. Your green card's gonna look exactly like it, and it's gonna be green. It's gonna be green up here, all right? Yes, it is a MasterCard. Yes, this is your Comdata fuel card, all right? So, the green card will not work. They're gonna give you free breakfast, lunch, and dinner the first week. After that, you pay for it. They give you a $200 a week loan. It is a loan. It is not paycheck. It is not anything else. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. Use your own money. And then at the end, when you pass your test and they switch it to a purple card, they're going to ask you, did you use any of it? Do you want to keep the loan? Do you not? If you don't want the loan, which is an interest-free loan, you only pay back $25 a week for it, then tell them, I don't want it. They'll take it all back and you owe them nothing, okay? I used it because it's an interest-free loan. You know, it helped me. In fact, it's still helping me. I still got about $200 of the loans on my card. All right. So They're going to come in, give you a little meal card, little paper punch card, and you're going to, or they're going to tell you if you're in Pittston, show your paper badge, and they'll mark it off. And they're about to get the punch cards though, so when you get here, it may be punch cards. All right, so they're going to go through all that. Then they're going to tell you, have your computer-based training done before midnight Tuesday night, or if you come on Wednesday, Thursday night. Okay? Have that done. They will send you home if that is not done. Okay? That shows that you're not serious. All right? Yes, housing. Housing is next. They usually put you up in motels. Now, I will tell you, if you're going to Springfield and you're put up in Campus Inn is run on an antique radiator system. When the radiator is on during the winter, there's no AC. None. So if it gets around 70, 80 degrees, there's no AC. The bunkhouses run off of the AC for the terminals, okay? Because they're in the terminals. When you're driving and you get a bunkhouse for free. They have no controllable room AC or heater. Whatever it is in the hallway is the temperature is going to be in the room, but they have fans available at Campus Inn in all of the bunk rooms. You just ask them and they'll get you a fan. Okay, now let's go on to the orientation. Second day, you're going to have a simulator class. Okay, listen, do what they say. There's a test on the second day of simulator class that you have to pass. Okay, so we've covered the food ticket. Now let's go ahead and get the work history done. The work history, okay, you've already gone over the work history with your recruiter. You've already put it in the computer. They need a paper copy to put in their system, in their files. Okay, that's not them, it's the law, all right? So they're going to give you a paper copy of the application. If you don't remember who you use for references, what you put for your work history, all that little app they had you download, pull that app up. You'll have to log in. It's going to have you input some basic information, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to autofill? You click yes, and then it fills the form with what you put when you did the application. So now you can just copy it. Okay, if you and your recruiter made any changes, it won't be on that form. You need to call your recruiter. No one should be sent home because their work history on paper doesn't match their work history in the computer. Then you go through the orientation office, and they verify everything. They talk with you about it. Then they okay you or they don't. Okay? They will tell you what's holding you up on getting your green card. Once you get badged, have your green card, you can go over to the terminal. Okay, in Pittston, the terminal is where you're going to go anyway for orientation. At Springfield, it's in campus. It's at the Campus Inn that you do the little orientation stuff, and you get carded. Then you get sent to the terminal. All right. Once you get to the terminal, you get your PSD trainer. Now they're going to teach you one of two ways. One is they'll take you on the road for a week or 2 weeks, teach you what you need to know, then bring you back for a test. Most of them that do that will also be your TNT trainer. Okay, not saying all will, most of them. The second one is you get a pad trainer. Now the pad trainer is going to have 2, 3, or 4 students, depending on what time of year, how big the classes are and all. Now you're going to stay on the pad. You're going to get some road time. You're going to get some driving time. But you're going to practice the maneuvers. Okay? I prefer to have a pad trainer, and My trainer, if you want to know who my trainer was, you want to request him, and you're going to Springfield, send me a message, send me a PM, and I'll be glad to let you know he's an excellent trainer. All right. So we've covered it's not orientation. We've covered the food ticket, and let me tell you, if you did not bring money, cash money, you need to go to an ATM after that first week and pull cash money out to pay for your meals. All right. If you're in Springfield, you're out on the pad. Shuttles run 24/7 in Springfield. In Pittston, they only run until about 3:30. Then security runs the shuttles at like 9:30, 11:30, and 1 a.m. Okay? And that's only if they're not having to deal with something. So make sure you have cash when you go up after that first week. Okay? Now you're going to be expecting to be in your PSD trainer's truck for 14 days before you're eligible to take the test. All right. I don't care if you have experience. I don't care what. All right. If you do have experience, let me tell you something. Still ask questions. Don't go in there acting like you're stupid, that you've never done this before. But if you have a question, ask. The only stupid question is an unasked question. All right. All right. Now, during this time, before you get carded, before you get your PSD trainer, they may send you to get another DOT physical. Okay? I don't care who says what, and I've talked to many drivers, and many drivers believe that when you pee in that cup for your DOT physical, that it's not a drug test. It is. They're checking your sugar levels. They're checking all your, like if you have protein in your urine, and they're checking for drugs. That's a regular DOT physical. Here is a drug test. Okay? Be prepared that you can pass a drug test and a DOT physical when you get up here. Another thing, first day of the orientation, they tell you are to have no alcohol. You were to cause no trouble. In my class, 2 guys went and celebrated that they got, yeah, we're here. Oh, there's a bar next door. Let's go to that bar and grill. And they got hammered. The next day, they were sending those 2 home. Okay? Had a guy who couldn't pass a drug test. Had another guy that got into a fist fight with someone who didn't even work at Prime, got sent home. They are serious about keeping up their company image, people. All right. Computer-based training, CBTs. Like I said before, when they say have it done by Tuesday midnight or Thursday midnight, they mean it. Wednesday morning, you don't have it done, sorry. Most of the time, he sends you home. Okay? You have plenty of time to do it. You better have a good reason why you didn't do it. And it better be something like, I couldn't log in. Let me show you. Okay? We've covered the $200 a week loan. We've covered the PSD, pad, or road. Now the test. Now the test is easy, people. Don't fret about the test. Okay? The whole point of PSD is not to teach you to drive an 18-wheeler. That's TNT. Okay? PSD, they're going to teach you how to operate an 18-wheeler and pass a test. That is their only function. Do you understand? Think about it. The only function. Okay? Think about high school. High school is not to prepare you for the world. High school is to teach you and prepare you for college. Okay? High school will not prepare you for the working world. It prepares you for college and educates you. All right? Same thing here. PSD prepares you to pass a test. That's it. Pass a test. Nothing more. If you get more out of it, great. You had a great PSD trainer like I did. He was answering questions about the road and what you should expect and all. But remember, PSD, These guys had to drive for over 2 years to be able to teach PSD. They are there just to teach you how to pass a test, okay? Now, the purple card, when you pass the test, and you have three parts. You have the road driving test, which is the last part, the backing test, which is the second part, and the pre-trip, which is the first part, okay? The pre-trip is pretty easy. You can get either a partial or a full pre-trip. All right. Now, the partial pre-trip, you start with 0 points. Every time you get something right, you mention something right, you talk about something that you're supposed to check, you get a point. Okay. Like, say, you start off with every one of them, the engine compartment starts off with, and you may not have the engine compartment, but every single one of them, the engine compartment starts off with, I look underneath the truck, make sure I'm looking for puddles, make sure there's no leaks. You pop the hood, you look at the passenger side, and everyone starts off the same. I'm going to look at the general hoses, make sure they're properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts because they're rubber hoses. Okay? And they're not leaking. All right? I just got my point for mentioning looking for leaks. I got a point for mentioning I'm checking the hoses. I got a point for mentioning that I'm checking to see if they're properly mounted and secured at both ends. I got a point for making sure that they didn't have any abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and I got a point for checking to see if they're not leaking. 5 points. Okay? 5 points. As a partial, there's 3 parts that you have to do every single time: coupling, lights, and end cap. Okay? Now, partial, it can be 1 to 2 of the others, of the other 3. Or a full is all 6 parts. Okay? With a full pre-trip, you have a possible 90 points. Okay? Out of that possible 90 points, you have to score like 68. Okay? With a partial, you have to score like 64. Okay? This is whenever I went through. Okay? And this is what I was told. So with a full pre-trip, you get to miss a lot more. Okay? I got a full pre-trip. I aced it. I loved it. It was easy. Okay, now the backing, that's what you're on the pad practicing. Okay, if you went out on the road with your trainer, with your PSD trainer, you usually come back in 2 days before your test, and he brings you out on the pad and he practices with you on the pad over and over and over for those 2 days so that you can pass that test. Now let me tell you something else. Your trainer is not going to sign you up for that test if he's not 100% sure that you can pass. The people who fail get in their heads and start thinking too much. You already know this. You're not taking a test. You're demonstrating what you already know to somebody else. And if you do really well, they're going to give you a CDL. So that's what I tell people. And if you have kids, nieces, nephews that you love to take out and teach and show things, pretend that that's them. And you're teaching them what you do for a living. Okay, now what that does is makes you think about it and not want to miss anything. I will give you a couple pointers on your tests for your pre-trip. I'm dismissing my alarm here because my washer's done. Number 1, if you practice with 2 people and have them hold the paper and saying, you know, and then after you finish that section, tell you what you missed. Then you switch, somebody else takes the test and you go to a different section. Never practice in the same order, okay? Because whenever you get your test, they're going to come out and say, okay, do coupling area. Okay, let's do end cap. Okay, now you have a full pre-trip. Do everything we haven't done. Okay, or you have a partial pre-trip. Let's do the lights, and then let's do trailer. Okay. that's how they do it. So you should practice it that way. Now, why practice with 2 people? You have your instructor, and a lot of times, because we do private testing at Prime, and we have in-house testing, we have in-house training, they come and evaluate the testers a lot. So a lot of times there's a state trooper with them during the test. So the 2 people simulate the state trooper and your tester. Yeah. All right. Now, the purple card. Once you pass that test, whether you trifecta or you take 3 or 4 chances to pass it, once you pass that test, they'll bring you in, have you fill out paperwork for a TWIC card, have you sign up for a TWIC card, and they'll take it out of your pay, and then they have you do some computer stuff. They print you out a purple card with the same picture for your green card, and they hand it to you. They ask you if you want to keep the loan or not, and then they hand you a packet and tell you, congratulations, you're an employee now. You know, log in, send this information to this email, and they'll start looking for you a TNT trainer. All right? If you have a good PSD trainer and you did good, you weren't a problem, and you learned and you listened, sometimes they'll call their fleet manager and say, hey, you want to keep this dude, find him a trainer. And that's what happened with me. They found me a trainer while I was sitting there filling out the computer work. The fleet manager called me, told me, this is going to be your trainer, this is how he operates, are we good? Yes sir, we're good, let's go. And he picked me up the next Saturday. All right, no big deal. At this point is when you start getting paid the $900 guaranteed. Okay, you have to be ready to accept a trainer. If you go home during TNT, they will not pay you unless you tell them, I am still ready to go. And then there's a few options. They'll either put you with a new trainer because your trainer's going on home time, or they'll ask the trainer, see if he's willing to pay you while you wait for him. That's what's happening right now. I'm getting paid for waiting because he said, I want to keep him on the truck with me. I've only got 24,000 miles left. I'm happy. All right. The 50,000 miles. I've heard a gripe about this, like, exponentially across. Okay. Some trainers are like, I don't think they need it. A lot of trainee, there hasn't been one trainee that I've met besides myself that's like, hey, I'm good with the 50,000. Okay. Here's the thing. Look at the other drivers out there. Look at them. Just look how they drive. I see guys who say they've had 20 years experience and they can't keep a truck and trailer in a straight line. Okay? You need these 50,000 miles. Because right around 30,000, you start getting cocky and you start thinking that you know everything. I know. I've been through this before. It's my second time through a TNT type training, you know, an on-the-job type training where I have to drive so many thousand miles. You know, I let my CDO go in 2015. Here's the thing. You need them, especially whenever you think you don't. All right? There's lots of things that you won't know. There's a lot of things. You know, I don't care if you've had 10 years experience. You still don't know the policy procedures, the paperwork, how to turn it in, how to, you know. And if you go onto a TNT trainer's truck with the attitude, I know it all, they're either going to try to get you off their truck or they're not going to help you. So when you have questions, they're not going to answer them. All right, guys, you need to come into this humbly. You're walking into a man or a woman's house. They live in this thing more than they live at home. This is their living room, their entertainment, their dining room, everything in this truck, in this little bitty truck. And you, whenever you get your own truck, you're gonna have the same. Do not come in and be like, I am the captain of this ship anytime I'm behind the wheel. You still defer to your trainer. They're here to teach you how to drive a truck, how to trip plan, which loads to accept and not accept if they're a lease driver. And they're to teach you how to run your clock. They're there to teach you how to back into docks, how to hook, unhook, how to fill out the drop trailer, the pickup trailer forms. They're there to teach you the macros and all. If you come in, you know, if they're not teaching you that, you need to ask. If you ask and they still don't want to teach you that, then maybe you need another trainer. Maybe you don't. I've tried to be as objective as I can. Prime has been a great experience so far. I picked Prime because of their training, because they value their drivers enough to give them proper training. Yes, if freight picks up tremendously like it did last year, they're going to drop it back down to 30,000 miles. As of right now, it's 50,000 miles. I'm still doing my 50,000 miles. I'm happy with Prime. If you want to use my driver code, we don't get much from that. The driver code, my driver code is V as in Victor, EIAAN. I'll put it in the description. We get 1/4 of a penny, 1/4 of a penny for every mile you drive. And I think it's for your first year. I don't know. Someone's told me, oh, it's for as long as they're employed by Prime, but I have seen drivers who have like 30 people that they've done. About 20 of them are still on Prime's payroll, and they've only got 3 referrals on their statement at the end of the week. So I think it's only like a year. Okay, now that equates to, depending on how you drive, about $7 a week. Nobody's getting rich off of referring, you know. So use it, don't, you know. I would appreciate it. And if you want to know what trainers I've had, I'll be glad to give you their names. Just send me a message, and if they have room, I know they'll be glad to take you. You know, because both my trainers love to teach people, love to disseminate their knowledge, and love to help. You know, and that's what they're doing right now. They're helping. So hopefully that will that gives you some information on what you're going to do when you come in for PSD. It's a lot of work. If you're not serious about it, don't come. You know, trucking is an industry that's really nice. You get paid to travel. You get to go to lots of places you probably wouldn't go anyway. I love it. Now, one other thing, it just slipped my mind. I'm going to try to do a tour of the Pittston terminal if I can tonight. Today's Friday. My trainer's supposed to come pick me up and we're supposed to leave. So if I can, great. If I can't, sorry, maybe next time. But hopefully that covers all your questions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be glad to answer them. If you wouldn't mind, though, to help me out, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know whenever I post new content, and make a comment. I don't care if it's, hey, nice doing, hey, dude, shave your beard. I don't care. Just, if you leave a comment, it bumps it. So, and if you find some value in this content, in any of the content I've given out so far, you know, share it. That helps it too. Now, the content's going to change a little bit. I'm still going to do informative stuff, but when I pick up my wife, we're probably going to be doing more, hey, look where we're at kind of content, which I'm going to find a lot more fun. I'm still going to do my tips and all, and might even start a daily devotional for those who are religious and want that quiet time. You know, so as always, keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and the mirrors between the ditches, and we'll catch you later. Thank you.